Hey, good morning from Birmingham, Alabama. Today is going to be a little bit different video. If you watched our Go Fast Camper build, you saw the really nice bench that my father and I built on the inside of the Go Fast Camper. It stored all of our camping gear, it had our Goal Zero battery in it, and it was exactly what we needed. And we took that thing all over the country, and it's held up really, really well. But it had some cutouts very specific to the shape of the Go Fast Camper and how it mounted to the Tacoma. So when wanting to redo it, I think my father and I, maybe just gluttons for punishment or bored, we're wanting to try doing it a little bit different. Before, we used a lot of L brackets that were riveted together to create the basic frame of that shelf or that bench, and then we used some starboard-like material, a plastic half-inch starboard, as a covering. This time we're trying two different materials. One is called PVC foam. It's a foam board. It's in the same shape of like a 4x8 sheet of plywood, but a lot lighter and resistant to water and chemicals. So that's going to be our main structure. And then we're going to be using some ACM, which is a composite material with aluminum on both sides. And we've got a 1/4 inch thick of that we're going to be sheeting on, as well as using a little bit more of the starboard. So anyway, we're trying some new materials. We're going to have a little bit of fun. And yeah, not everyone is lucky to be able to work in a shop like this. This is thanks to a good friend of ours that we've known for nearly my entire life that's letting us borrow his shop. But we're not doing anything that couldn't be done in your garage. So let's do some experimenting and have a little bit of fun. So our first step is going to be cutting this big sheet of the PVC foam board down to more manageable sizes. So we're going to be using a large table saw for that. I would love to be using our buddy CNC, but I think it would take longer to program that to make the cuts than it would just use a table saw. So table saw it is.
Over. Start on the next one. All right. Now let's glue this piece in.
Alright, this is some really awesome stuff. So this is that PVC foam board that we were talking about earlier, and because it's PVC, we're able to use PVC glue, like what you would use for doing plumbing in your house, as well as a few screws to put it together. It is maybe 10 or 11 pounds, extremely rigid, and it's taken some time, but we've got it cut just about perfect, following all the complicated lines and still having room to pull the Goal Zero battery out. So it is definitely coming together. But this new material is really awesome.
Compared to that other box, this generation versus Gen 2.
Yeah, big difference.
Huge difference. Very, very lightweight. And how sturdy this is, it really surprises me with how much structural rigidity this thing has. Hey guys, we wanted to see exactly how well this PVC glue was going to work, so we used a test piece. We cut some of our scrap into pieces and we did a 90 degree and we glued this together. Now if you'll notice, we put 3 screws in this so that we would be able to use it as a mechanical connection. We went ahead and removed the screws now, and it's just the PVC glue. We've let this glue for several hours. You'll notice we've got about 6 inches here and about 10 inches on this side. I'm putting my weight down on this. trying to break this loose. And you can see the piece flex, but where we glued that, and that is not a mechanical connection, is simply the PVC primer and the heavy duty PVC pipe glue that we used to put this board together. And you can see how much of a bond that made. And now we've taken that and we've done that with this box. Again, while we have the screws as mechanical connections, while it pulled it tight to set that glue, most of the rigidity of this box is coming from that glue. So I have a high level of confidence that we have found a new product that we're going to start making a lot more of this type of material as we're building out our rigs.
So as we're sitting here working on this new bench, I thought it'd be good to show you what our current version looks like versus how it all started. This was our first generation one out of the all aluminum, and though it's still a really lightweight way of building, structurally this one is much stronger, and as you saw, the glue that bonds us together is crazy strong. So yeah, just a quick comparison between version 1 and version 2. Alright, so I want to talk a little bit about what we've got in here so far. So you'll notice the Goal Zero is mounted back down here. That's where I had it previously. It's a really great spot because I can quickly access my any kind of plug. So if I'm charging a drone battery, if I'm charging my camera battery, it's really easy to pop down the tailgate and get to that. So it's in that location there, but there's plenty of room above it. So this in here is a little shelf, and when Dad and I were talking, we're trying to figure out what to do with that space. And one of the things that always annoyed me about my previous setup was every time I would pull my little stove out, all the things that were around it would fall down into that box, and it would take me a while to dig everything back out to put the stove back in its place. Well, now with the current space, this has a home. So now I can fit this, I can fit some silverware pieces, I can fit the quick access items that I need right here on top. So instead of being wasted space like it was in my previous one, now I have a known good location where I can always grab my stove out and not have to dig for it. So we get the glue on it, and we'll slap that ACM panel on. We'll be good. Good morning. It is day 2 of working on this little project. As you saw yesterday, we got the main part all put together, and we got it test fitted. Everything is perfectly contoured to the truck, so it's really, really nice. Today we are skinning the outside, so I am crazy impressed with how lightweight this is. Comparing the entire structure that has a little bit more room than my old one compared to the old one, crazy difference in weight and structure and how much room we have. It's really, really good material. We're enjoying working with it. Now we're just going to put this 1/4 inch ACM on the outside to skin it, protect it, and yeah, so we just used some industrial glue. Show you what that looks like. Got it on there, and now we're going to route the top. We left just enough room here at the top so that we could run a router across it, and it will end up being perfect. So right now we're using some industrial glue to attach these trim pieces, and as you can see, we've got them cut just perfect for these edges, all the way down the length in here. And then we can use a router bit, let it focus here, use a router right here on this edge to get it just perfect. I think this is going to look so good and brighten up the interior of the truck. So this ACM, though a bit messy, as you can see, rips really easily with the table saw. Industrial glue, that can be stuck up there, no problem. well, you've seen us install it a couple times, but I don't think you've seen it since we did all the trim work. This thing fits in perfectly and snugly. I think my camera's struggling with all the flat colors to focus here, but anyway, it fits in super well, follows all the contour lines, has a ton of room. This box for this side is almost done. We're fitting the lid right now, and then you guys get to see it a little more complete. All right, so a little update. As you can see, we got the second box built. Still leaves us about 28 inches in the middle, which is plenty of room for fitting most things that we need to put in there. We're going to put the water tank at the very end, and this box is it's about 12 inches wide. So it's where we're going to put the pumps for the water tank, all of the stuff like probably my diesel heater will go in this box. We will put a few other things in this one. So this is more of a utility box with tools and such, and this one is all camping gear and plenty of room left in the middle. Man, it looks good. Looks professional, even though it's just us having fun in the garage here. Thanks so much for watching the building portion of this video. Next Friday, we'll have another video out. It's a walk around of how we have the camper set up, what kind of gear we have loaded, and how we're liking it so far. So be sure to like and subscribe, stick around, and we'll see you next Friday.